recording, and that is it. We are live.
Cool.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the UNG Odyssey podcast. This episode, I have very funny man and huge wrestling fan, also wrestler, and just a big guy out in general. Man, you're a huge dude. Khris Germany.
I've been a little lighter, but I've been heavier too.
Like
though.
the mass.
Yeah, I'm a big guy. I've always been. I'm one of those kids that was always the biggest kid in school.
Yeah. Did you ever play any sports in school?
Yeah, man. I played football, ran track.
Mm-hmm.
Was the third fastest quarter-mile runner in Irving
Mm-hmm.
when I was in junior high school.
Oh, okay.
Played high school football for MacArthur High School.
Yeah.
And then got a college scholarship and played for Trinity Valley in Athens, Texas.
Okay. So you've just been sporty all your life, pretty much.
Yeah. I'm a creative. I've always been a creative guy. Actually, my scholarship to Trinity Valley was an athletic and musical arts scholarship. I was an all-state baritone.
All-state baritone.
Yeah,
Singer?
state of Texas. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
You sing?
Yeah.
Do me something real quick.
No, fuck you.
Come on, man.
No, fuck you.
Why
bro.
not?
I've been singing 30 years, bro.
That's a lie. I know you in your
Well, I
mind.
sing in a car.
I know you
Sing in a
you're
car.
singing. Oh,
I don't even do karaoke.
You
I don't
can't.
even do. I'm too critical,
No?
man. I don't even do karaoke.
Oh.
No, man, I'm too critical about that shit. I mean,
When was the last time somebody asked you to sing something?
Oh fuck.
Now I'm gonna tell everybody.
A long time.
Dude, like he's a baritone, man. He's
Yeah.
pretty good. You lived an interesting life, a wrestler, right? How'd you get into wrestling? Like pro wrestling, not just.
So I never did amateur wrestling. I was a football player. Was an offensive lineman and defensive lineman. And so, always a big guy, really athletic, quick on my feet. Not so much anymore. But, playing football there in Trinity Valley, was an offensive lineman there. And actually, I walked on, when we walked on for 2 days, I was actually the smallest offensive lineman they had.
Wow.
Yeah, I weighed in at 230. I was the smallest offensive lineman
What
they had.
do they normally weigh?
Oh gosh, I mean, that was the era when guys started to be, 300 pounds. I mean, now the high school kids are, 250, 300 pounds now, and some of them more. So that was the era when guys, and I didn't realize it until I got there. Now they moved me from playing outside tackle to playing inside guard, so which I did some pulling guard, so it made it. I don't know if you're a football fan or not, but
No, I'm not. Really, but
so okay, so
I mean, I listen to it.
yeah, so that's usually a smaller size position,
Yeah.
and so but I was playing next to guys that were just coming out of high school at 265, 300 pounds, man.
Yeah.
So played there at Trinity Valley for a semester, and then came home for semester break and got the itch to start pro wrestling.
Oh, nice.
These guys were was working at a gym in Irving, where I grew up, and managing the gym, working there, and lifting weights and stuff like that. When you're a gym rat like that, it gives you something to do. When it's slow, you can go get your workout in. And pro wrestlers would come in. So it was an old dungeon gym. Now you have places like UFit and all these different. We had just dungeon gyms. It was just a big room with like shitty carpet and dead weights.
What was the gym called? Is it still around?
Yeah, it was called Physique's Gym. That's not around anymore. But
is it kind of like what's that gym where it's in a warehouse? There's one over there in like the HEB area. I used to work out there too. We did I used to do some MMA there because they had a ring.
Oh, okay. Are you talking about the gym?
No, not the
That
gym.
that
The
was
gym's
here. That was here in Arlington.
No, this one was
That's
in,
run by the Bussies, which I was in. I worked with in the pro wrestling industry.
Yeah.
Now they're doing MMA.
hmm
So,
They're doing a lot of venues.
yeah, man.
They do have a
Yeah,
lot
the
of stuff.
the guy who ran it, Mike Bussey and his wife, they're good business people, man, and they ran other businesses and then got into this pro wrestling thing. And I was there when they started it out, and had a pretty good stint with them. Wrestled there, and then actually managed a whole crew of guys
Okay.
out of there when I was. That was probably early 2000s, 2001, 2002,
Yeah.
2003, something like that.
You brought up a point where like guys were starting to get bigger. Do you think you can attribute that to like maybe like how they started using steroids on meat products? Because there was a certain time where like people weren't getting that big, and then all of a sudden, especially in the sports world, you can clearly tell the difference in the sports world, and it can't be a coincidence. It's not like they're working any harder than the guys who used to work out back then.
Well, yeah, sure. Science is always changing because people's bodies have changed now. The way that the athletes are training now compared to the way that the athletes trained in the late 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
When I started training, because when I started training, it was all just lift a bunch of heavy weight, and now it's they've got this functional exercise that prepares you for whatever sport that you're doing, CrossFit or whatever sport, football or basketball or whatever,
Kinda
but they're
like
training specifically for it.
They have like a lot of functionality work.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Yeah, when I came up, it was all just about throwing up heavy weights.
Just throwing
Yeah,
weights in there.
yeah, and
Just hitting the hard iron.
I mean, when you compare from the early 1900s into the 30s, into the 40s, into the 50s, so guys weren't like, if you were a big guy, you were very unusual.
Yeah, like 6 foot back then was.
Yeah, that was
huge.
big. Yeah. So
A lot of malnutrition people back then.
yeah, that's what I equate it to. I equate it to people just in that food. My dad was born in 1935, and it was right in the middle of the Depression, and his family didn't have much, and he had 5 other brothers and sisters, and they just didn't have money, and so he probably would have been a big guy if he'd had the proper nutrition.
Yeah.
I think he was 5'10" or 5'11", but and my brother and I both are around 6'2", 6'3".
Yeah.
So we got fed a lot better. We were lucky.
Yeah.
So but in the 80s, steroids definitely had something to do with it, and you saw the difference. The change starting in the 50s.
Yeah.
Because that's when they invented steroids to
produce more leaner cut meat.
Well, no. In addition, for people, they gave it to the Holocaust victims coming back from the war and POWs to put weight back on them.
Oh,
so,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's originally what they did it for.
We had a bunch of buff Jews walking around.
Well, no, but it would help them. It would, it'd get that nutrition.
Yeah.
And people, if you don't have proper nutrition, you have low testosterone anyway. So, and so they raise their testosterone level, just a little bit, and they become hungry and they put weight on. So, it does make a difference. And then, hey, it only takes one guy to go.
Yeah.
And this shit works. It tells 2 guys, and then so on and so forth.
So, how did you you talked a little bit how you started with athletics and then got into wrestling, pro wrestling. Did you just jump into it and just I'll do it? And
That's what I did.
I just jumped right into it. What made you just say fuck it, let's do some wrestling?
I was lucky. The guy that ran the Physiques gym.
Yeah.
A crazy character named Cheyenne Rivera, who was the stunt man and a bodybuilder, and he knew people in the wrestling. He was one of those guys that was kind of on the fringes. Everything. It was the early mid '80s. You come out of the '70s and '80s. I mean, it was still that kind of underground mob mentality a little bit. That you always had your hand in something. There was always some kind of you might have been working a regular job, but you always had your hand in something else. What today they call side hustle.
Yeah, they call it side hustle.
So, but yeah, he was, he probably dabbled in, some black market stuff, and which, that's the people you meet, and so he got in touch with some pro wrestlers, and they come to him and come work out at his gym, and then so I got the heads up that here in Dallas, World Class Championship Wrestling, that a gentleman, Chris Adams, was going to start training people, and so I kind of had a little bit of an inside track. So when it really actually happened, I knew it was probably legit. And one of his first students to come out of the school was a guy named Steve Williams that would soon become Steve Austin and eventually become Stone Cold Steve Austin.
No way.
So
he is out of Texas, right?
Yeah, man. He took his first bump right there in the Dallas Sportatorium, right there on Katie's and Industrial in Dallas.
Oh wow.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, he and I wrestled together for the first, I don't know, 2.5, 3 years of my career.
Oh, really?
Traveling around, yeah, man. We worked a lot, bro, huh?
Is he a cool guy?
Yeah, Steve's great.
Was he always did he always have that persona, that badass persona, or is that something that kind of slowly built?
Listen, he came out of South Texas and played, also a football player. Mm-hmm. Played some running back, and then I believe he was a defensive end when he went to college, and played at a junior college actually, and then transferred to North Texas. Mm-hmm. And so he actually played at a defensive end position, if I'm not mistaken, at North Texas and Denton.
Yeah.
And he had the same idea that I did. He was like, buying tickets, going to see down to the Sportatorium, watching the Von Erichs.
Yeah.
Chris Adams, and Bruiser Brody, and all those guys that would come in. So, and when he heard about it, he was one of the first students. And he was a natural athlete, and he was a big gym rat, lifted a lot of weights, had a good body, and so he was. I mean, he was almost a natural from the beginning.
Yeah.
I came in about probably 6 months after he did, and within, I don't know, his first year, he actually, there used to be before there was the internet.
Yeah.
We had wrestling magazines.
Oh yeah.
So
I remember those were big.
Yeah. Now the nerds would call them Apter mags, because that was the one of the guys that wrote it was Bill Apter.
Oh, okay.
And so the biggest Apter magazine was Pro Wrestling Illustrated.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Steve was actually voted Rookie of the Year, 1990.
Yeah.
As Rookie of the Year for Pro Wrestling Illustrated magazine. And, we weren't, they were pushing him, and he's getting spots immediately, and, kind of gave us a little bit of push. They brought us, younger guys in to do jobs for the big veterans, and get our foot in the door, and that was great. I mean, I feel like I was kind of a natural at it, because you watch it constantly when you're a kid, and then you're watching it now. You realize, oh, holy shit, I've been watching wrestling for 10 years. Mm-hmm. Well, now you've kind of start to figure out how it works, and then you get in there and train, and you already have it in your head.
Yeah.
And so it makes a big difference to have that knowledge. The best wrestlers, the best professional wrestlers, were wrestling fans as kids. Mm-hmm. The guys that struggle the most in the business, guys that become professional wrestlers because they're athletes, and that aren't wrestling fans, constantly struggle.
Oh, okay.
Well, they will constantly struggle. Maybe not getting over, because maybe they're great athletes and they got good bodies and they're marketable, but they'll never really get it the way, what we call them marks. I'm sure you probably heard that expression. Are you a wrestling fan?
I'm a wrestling fan,
Okay.
but I don't know.
You never heard the phrase mark?
No.
Okay. I'm gonna tell you where this came from. So,
Guessing
a
so.
mark is a
Yeah.
guy who buys a ticket. Okay.
Oh,
It
okay.
sits in the audience.
Yeah.
They're marks.
Okay.
And it came from the carnival business because
Oh.
that's where
carnival.
wrestling first started. Was in the carnival. It was a game to get people to spend their money.
Yeah.
You know, they bring a guy in who was a ringer from the audience, and they say, okay, anybody want to challenge the big champion? If you want to come in, well, they bring a guy out of the audience, and then they get the people to bet on him. Well, he might be a local guy, but they've already smartened him up. And so they get these people to bet on this local guy, and then they beat the local guy, and they take all the money on him. So in the carnival, they would, that's what they call, like when you do a con, the guy that you're cheating is the mark.
Yeah.
So that's where that expression comes from, is when they were in the carnival, the guys that would come up and play the games, because you can't win those fucking games.
No, they're all rigged,
Right.
man. They're all
So
rigged.
that was the mark. That was you get him to almost win the first time. Well, he spends more money.
That gets them hooked.
Yeah, that's right. So they're the marks.
I can do this. I can do this.
So that's where that
I
comes
almost got
from.
that. Yeah.
So so the wrestling fans, you grow up being a mark, and then you get in the business, and you're a lot more natural at it.
Is that where that outfit came from? Because you mentioned the circus, right? There was a lot of
Carnival.
Or carnival, my bad. There's a lot of I remember a lot of like the old school, the way you'd portray the muscle man. He'd always have that leotard and everything.
Right.
And then you see wrestlers would wear that. I wonder,
probably. I'm sure. I mean, I wasn't there, but there's a lot of wrestling historians that keep up with records. I'm horrible at records. I wish I'd kept all the records and all the matches and what I got paid and where it was, But to me, I didn't care. I was just getting to the next town and trying to have enough gas money to get to the next town, So, but yeah, it was interesting. It was fun, but they didn't smarten you up until you actually started working. Like they taught you how to, protect yourself, take a bump, do some amateur wrestling to protect yourself if something really bad happens in the ring. How to grab a hold of a guy so he's not going to really hurt you and beat the shit out of you, because it happens.
Yeah.
And but then when you get in the business and you start working with these professionals who've been doing it 10, 20, 30 years, they make the decision if you're sticking around. It ain't you. They're going to make the decision. The first thing they do is they beat the shit out of you to see if you're going to come back.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
Well, now this is the older day. I don't know how it is now.
Well, I've heard that from a couple podcasts I listened to with like Jake the Snake. He was on Rogan's podcast.
Right.
I don't know if you ever heard that one.
Yeah.
And yeah, he was talking about how like they just
it's the truth,
beat the
man.
crap out of you.
See, now Jake's probably.
Is he a Texas guy too?
Yeah, he was. I think he was born in Gainesville, Texas.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken. He's a second generation or third generation wrestler. His dad was Grizzly Smith, who was like 6'6" or 6'8", back when guys weren't 6'6" or 6'8".
Yeah, they weren't that big.
Yeah, no shit. So, they would. You'd get in the business, and you knew you were going in to put them over and make them look good, and count some lights and get a paycheck and go home.
Yeah.
But if they beat the shit out of you and you walked to the back and were pissed about it, they knew it.
They knew you were gonna last.
Yeah. If you walked but when they beat the shit out of you, if you walked to the back, shook their hand, said thank you, I enjoyed working with you. Can't wait to work with you again, and you walk away and go lick your wounds in the corner by yourself, then they're gonna go, nah, that kid gets it. Maybe we'll let him stick around a little bit. And then if they do it a couple more times, guess what? They quit doing it.
Yeah.
They quit beating the shit out of you. They show you how to work. And I was lucky enough to get in really quickly with some guys that originally it was World Class Championship Wrestling, which was owned by Fritz von Erich and a couple other guys that had small stakes in it. But Fritz was having some financial trouble, and the boys couldn't run shit, bro. I mean, I love Kevin Von Erich. He's the one still around. I love Kevin. I worked with him all the time. I wrestled Kevin in Oklahoma City for the World Championship in a hotel ballroom packed with like a couple thousand people. So Kevin's my boy, man, and I love his sons, Ross and Marshall. They're good kids, man. But those guys weren't businessmen.
Oh, they weren't business savvy.
No, and their dad knew it.
Yeah.
And so he sold out partially to Jerry Jarrett, who ran the Tennessee territory. We see when I got in, it was still territories.
Yeah.
I'm the last. We were the last generation to get that territory information, man. Mm-hmm. And so Jerry Jarrett came in from Tennessee. He ran the Memphis territory, and he came in and was running pretty much all the shows. And they went from world class to USWA, United States Wrestling Association, I believe. So I got to work under Jerry Jarrett and all the Tennessee wrestlers, Jerry Lawler, Bill Dundee, really great workers like Gorgeous Gary Young, which probably nobody knows who he is, but was a wrestler's wrestler, man. And Mick Foley, who was Cactus Jack at the time.
Yeah, he was just here.
Yeah.
Did you get a chance to see him?
Yeah, I did. I swung by on the way to work, actually. I went by and shook Mick's hand and said hello to him. So, so I got to work under Danny Davis, who was Nightmare Danny Davis. Really huge wrestlers, back in the territory days.
Yeah.
And I got to work with these guys, and they got to teach me stuff. And so, literally, we are the last generation before the territories fell apart.
How many years were you into wrestling when this was all happening?
So I got in in '89. Yeah. My rookie year was technically 1990, same one as Steve. Mm-hmm. And I wrestled. I was 21 years old. I wrestled from 21 to 37 all the time. Like, it slowed down after the big territories closed up, but there was always a smaller territory, a smaller group coming in to run the Sportatorium. Mm-hmm. USWA left, and then Global Wrestling Federation came in.
Yeah. I remember that. I remember Global Wrestling Federation.
And so, and there was and they ran, I don't know, 5-6 years. Mm-hmm. So there was always, places to work. In addition to what now they call the independent circuit. Back then it was more of an outlaw circuit. Mm-hmm. We wrestled all the time. I would wrestle a minimum of 4 days a week from the time I started. And when I started, we were wrestling 6 days a week, bro.
Jesus, man.
Yeah, we were wrestling. We were wrestling Monday through Friday. We'd do what were known as spot shows, which we would do like charity shows at high schools and VFWs, National Guard armories. Mm-hmm. And then Friday night was the big show at the Sportatorium. Then Saturday morning was TV taping.
Another show Saturday morning?
Yes, we would wrestle Friday night. And then we would be up to open the doors of the Sportatorium in the morning and do TV taping Saturday morning.
Yeah. And
then after TV taping Saturday morning, we go and do a spot show somewhere 300 miles away.
Jesus Christ, man. How the fuck are you still together?
Listen, I got the shit beat out of me a lot in the early 90s.
Do you have any permanent injuries?
I have horrible injuries, bro. I'm sitting here, I'm in pain right now.
Yeah? Oh my God.
You'll see me standing around at comedy shows, and you'll see me sometimes just bend over. And you always see me leaning against. If I'm not sitting down, I'm leaning against something because my hips are hurting, my knees are hurting, my feet are hurting. It doesn't help that I'm 300 plus pounds right now either.
No, that doesn't. That's very strenuous on your back, man.
Yeah, man.
I have a herniated disc, so I have to make sure I stay under a certain weight. Otherwise, every morning
I'm dropping.
Pain.
I got up as much as 350.
What are you doing to lose weight, or
just eating, kind of keeping pretty close to a keto diet, kind of, you know,
It's
like
hard. It's really hard.
for me, I just cut out like pastas and breads and stuff. And, you know, I have some flexibility. I like to eat, I'm cool with vegetables. I like green vegetables and, you know, broccoli and cauliflower and salads and spinach and stuff like that. And then just good proteins. What I think is great on it is I can eat a steak and I can eat a big fatty steak and not feel bad about it. You know, and get up after sleeping and, and be 2 pounds lighter.
Have you ever tried, or have you ever thought about doing the intermittent dieting?
I have done intermittent fasting, and I will do it. Like, I do intermittent fasting. I'll do it probably a couple days a week, and it does kind of kickstart, you know, that weight loss thing. And then by the end of the week, you realize that it's made a big difference. I'll usually do it like maybe two days back to back, where I'm only eating like a 6 or 8 hour period. I do all my eating 6 or 8 hour period.
Yeah, about 8 hours, because most people say about 14 to 16 hours of non-eating.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't had anybody really school me on it. I've read books, and I listen to books because I'm dyslexic as fuck. So I don't really, like, it would take me days to read a small book. But thank God for Audible. I went back, and I was a horrible student in high school and dyslexic as hell. And I went back and listened to all the classics that I was supposed to read in high school, and I just bought the Cliff Notes.
Yeah. Have you, I know you got a bunch of injuries, and I was listening to Diamond Dallas Page, who's also a Texan, right?
No, he's a Florida guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
just joking.
He's a Florida and Georgia guy.
He's got
one of the only Jewish wrestlers, by the way.
No
his
shit.
background is
There's not that many Jewish wrestlers. I mean, you would think that their physicality is not
like
there.
how many Jewish linebackers are there in the NFL? Not very many. So
But like he's got a thing called DDP
yoga.
Have you thought about it?
Yeah, I had the system.
Yeah.
I had the system. It's I bought it when they were still doing CDs.
Yeah.
And my problem is just sticking with it. I work nights, which fucks up my comedy shit.
Oh,
Unbelievable.
Man.
I have to get.
What time nights?
I work from 9 p.m. to 9 a.m.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
5 days a week?
Yeah.
4 days. 5 days a week? That's
Sunday,
more than 40 hours.
Sunday night. Yeah, I do about.
What's that, 60?
I do 55 to 60 hours. Yeah.
What do you do? What's your daytime job?
I work for a major snack company.
Like Frito-Lay?
I didn't say it. You did.
Sorry. I work across the street from Frito-Lay in over there in GP.
Oh, okay. So
I was just wondering, it could be Hershey's, could be whatever.
There you go. So major snack company, I drive an 18-wheeler.
Oh, so you're a truck driver.
Yeah.
Nah. Truck driver. I wouldn't picture you. No, I could picture you as a truck driver. Yeah.
See, it was either that or airline pilot.
Well, fucking
I'm just fucking
pilot, man. What are you doing?
Just fucking with you.
Oh, cool. But but you're also a comic.
Man.
Not to mention, how did you transition from I'm gonna kick ass to I'm gonna do comedy?
Man, you don't really transition. This is the deal: is that I got in the pro wrestling business. I got out. I left the pro wrestling business. I was 37 years old. I moved to Florida to do radio. I was with a radio group, and they got a new contract to go to Florida, and I was in between jobs, and they're like, "Hey, you want to come to Florida? You're a funny guy, and you can help produce and run the board and stuff."
Yeah.
And so I moved to Fort Myers, Florida, and 04. And wow, that was not me. Moved to Fort Myers, Florida. Holy shit. So Fort Myers, Florida, 04, and started doing radio there, and met my wife there. Knocked her up.
Ooh.
And
seems like the only way guys get married.
Yeah,
man.
Then when right before she had the baby, I got out of the radio business. I had to get a real job because radio business is unbelievably transient.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you got to move around a lot. Contracts go up and down.
I have had this guy named Bobby Brown. His name's Bobo. He's on 92.5 Lone Star on Saturday mornings. But he also has like an AM show on something else. But yeah, he told me about how like the radio business is like.
Look, they treat talent like shit, bro.
Yeah, and he's very funny.
Like shit.
He is so funny, and he is so like, just like underappreciated for a radio personality.
They don't until you have been doing it. You've been in the same market for 10 years, and you've got consistent ratings, and they'll still drop you. I mean, look what they did to Russ Martin. You know?
Yeah. Fucking was CBS, was it?
Yeah, I can't remember.
I think it was
CBS. Yeah.
Because actually, funny thing, the guy who co-hosts with Bobo is oh shit, I can't think of his name. It's the John Clay Wolf show. And you got Bobo, and then you have damn, he used to be the co-host for Russ Martin on CBS. They did the TV show together.
Oh,
What do you think of his name?
JD.
Yeah, JD.
Yeah.
JD
Ryan.
Yeah, JD Ryan. He's on that show.
Yeah,
with
no
him.
shit.
Yeah. So I'm trying to see if I can get JD here one day.
Good luck with that. I'm sure that motherfucker's got some stories.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to. I've already asked Bobo if we can somehow connect to him coming on the podcast next sometime. He said he's gonna see what he can do. I'll probably have Bobo on here again, just because Bobo has a lot of stories too.
Cool.
And he does a lot of funny voices. He does so many characters that I didn't have enough time to go over all of it with him.
Yeah, I was lucky when I was in Florida. I got to meet a lot of really cool people. Got to know how shitty the fucking radio industry is.
Yeah.
I got to meet some really great comics that came through. Of course, back then, I mean, the internet was there, but it wasn't as established. We didn't have social media. We didn't, like MySpace wasn't even a thing yet.
No, not yet.
So, or maybe it was just starting out.
Probably.
Yeah.
MySpace started getting popular like 2003, 4 maybe.
Yeah, so that's the same time. So, but what does the comic do? They have to do morning radio to sell tickets, and so I got to meet some guys. And of course, I always wanted to do it. I actually did it in high school.
Yeah.
But but not in clubs. Like I'd do it for like if we did a talent show, or if there was a.
That's still pretty cool though.
Yeah, I was just stealing other people's material. I didn't know any better.
Well, you're kidding.
I was funny as fuck because it was good writing.
Who's material?
Oh, fucking everybody's, bro.
Please don't tell me you're doing Bill Cosby bits.
No, I couldn't pull that one
Especially
off.
like the one where he talking about using the Spanish fly. Can you believe that he did a bit about Spanish fly?
Ridiculous, bro. That's embarrassing. It's embarrassing now.
He would sit there and pretty much joke around about the things he was actually doing to everybody.
Yeah, no shit, because that's what's on his mind, man.
And people thought it was weird, but they were like, it's just a bit, I guess.
Yeah, stuff from the, guys from the 80s. That,
so you've been a fan of comedy that long too?
Fuck yeah, bro. I was a huge fan of comedy, man. I loved...
How did you get comedy back then? Just TV?
HBO.
HBO?
Yeah, HBO, and we actually, we had cable, so you get but there wasn't any Comedy Central, or there wasn't, and now God, YouTube's worth its weight in gold, man. Like you can find anything on there. Change the alternator in my fucking car with a video from YouTube.
I can't do stuff like that. I can't do
without
car stuff.
Yeah, I can't do it without help and a shit ton of fucking beer.
Every time I try to do something, like I had a bike, right, and I was trying to change the oil.
Motorcycle.
Oil, yeah, motorcycle. I had a VTR 1000, a Honda VTR 1000, and I started the video like how to change the oil on the VTR 1000. But it didn't tell me how to take the frame off. So, like, their bike was already...
Yeah, it's already apart.
Right. And I was like, well, this doesn't do me any good.
Yeah, because you got to be really specific.
Yeah.
How do I get to this fucking part?
So, I'm not really handy when it comes to videos like that. I do need somebody to sit there and...
Yeah, I got a beer drinking buddy that's got a shit ton of tools, and I would call him over.
Yeah? He's good with tools or he's shitty?
No, he's good.
Yeah?
I'm shitty. Yeah, he's got a shit ton of good
You
tools.
ever notice that the guys who are really good at stuff like that are nice beer drinking buddies?
Yeah, man.
Because they sit there and they'll work on it while they're having a beer.
Yeah.
And then they realize,
We
I
would.
fucked up.
No, we would get to the point where we're like, all right, we better get this fucker back together because we're starting to get drunk.
Yes, we're starting to get pretty drunk now.
Yeah, okay, all right. No, we do this thing where we'd, you have to take pieces off to get to pieces.
Yeah.
So we take a piece off and then chug a beer and go, small victories.
Yeah, that's very...
So we're constantly celebrating small victories. It's a part, and now we got to stop drinking so we get this fucker back together.
You know what? I don't think people, like... and I'm part of the generation to blame too, but like our generation and even the younger generations, we're not doing stuff like that anymore. We're not really connecting with each other.
No, man.
There's hardly any bonding with us.
It's this.
Yeah.
So I told my son today.
Yeah.
This is your problem. This is your problem.
That
And
is a
listen,
huge
I
problem.
love mine, and I love the information it gets me, and I'm probably thoroughly and totally addicted to it.
Mm-hmm.
But guess what? I already know how to talk to somebody. I already know how to look them in the eye. I already know how to greet somebody, say hello.
Mm-hmm.
And these kids don't know how to do it.
Yeah, I had to. I mean, people don't naturally know how to do that. You have to train.
No, you got to teach
You
them,
gotta teach
bro.
your kid. I had
You're
to teach
shy,
myself.
bro. You're always. People go, I was shy when I was a kid. Well, guess what? Most people are fucking shy as a
Yeah,
kid.
everybody's shy as a kid.
Yeah.
You're fucking walking around. You're 2 feet high
Yeah.
with all these giants around you. People
Yeah,
with
no
facial
shit.
hair. You don't
Yeah.
wanna,
What do you
you
want, a
know-
fucking cookie?
No, but I did the same thing with my son. Hey, you say hi to your elders. Say hi to your aunt. That's your
Yeah, man.
uncle. Say hi to
Yeah,
them.
see. And
say
you had to fight
goodbye.
through it, but you had to fight through it.
Oh
man.
yeah. Like go do it, and he'd be all shy, and he'd do it, and then I'd be like, go say hi, go say bye to your grandma before we leave, and stuff like that.
I still
you know?
got to do that with my son a little bit.
And he's 9 now, and with strangers he still probably needs, but he's not so shy to go up and say hi.
Right.
You know, but
Recently, my son recently transferred from a private school into a public school. We live.
how old's your son?
He's 13.
13.
So
Is
he's
that
in seventh grade.
is he your oldest?
He's my only.
You're only.
Yes.
Oh, only one kid.
Oh yeah, he was a really good kid. He is a really good kid. He's getting to be a teenager, so it can be a little trying. Yeah.
Get to the traumatic
But
part.
yeah, that's all right. It's all right.
The rest of you is gonna
We'll
come
have a little.
out.
No, we just. You know what? I'm proud of it. Never raised a hand to that kid, man.
That's good.
Never spanked him. I was, I thought I was going to be that type of parent, and then one time when he was about 3 years old, he was acting like an asshole, and I was about to lay into him. My wife said, "Wait, let's think about it. Take a break, and if you think he still needs his ass whooped, then whoop his ass." And that was the only time that I ever considered laying a hand on that kid because I thought about it. And I thank God for my wife. She's like, "Hey, let's use these techniques that people use that don't beat their kids." Because I was beat as a kid.
Oh yeah.
My dad was beat as a kid.
Oh, a lot of
You know what I'm
I was
saying?
spanked in school.
Right. Of course.
Here in
I was
Texas.
too.
Here in Texas.
Yeah,
spanked
no
as a
shit.
kid.
And you're how old are you?
I'm 36.
He's 30. You're fucking much younger now, almost 20 years, 15 years at least. Yeah.
I was
15 years ago, they were still beating kids in schools.
I was I was born in a small town in South Texas called Harlingen.
Yeah, no Harlingen.
Yeah, Harlingen.
Oh,
But
shit.
I lived in La Feria, which is like 20-minute drive. But Harlingen, of course, had the hospital.
Gotcha.
But like the school I went to was right there, in La Feria, right by the
Sure.
border. Like we're
Yeah.
like 25 minutes away from the
Yeah.
border. And yeah, man, I remember getting paddled. I don't remember why I got paddled, but I remember getting paddled.
Yeah.
I think it was because I was looking up girl skirts. To be honest,
That's
I think
not
that's
surprised
what
me.
it was.
Rudy, it's not surprised me.
I don't know why.
So yeah, so he's a super good kid, man,
That's
and
good.
and so we transferred him to this public school. Well, listen, he went from being in a bubble for 4 years, where they had chefs making their fucking lunch in the afternoon, and they had a salad bar, to going to a public school where some kids. We live in Lake Highlands over in by White Rock Lake, Dallas. where some kids don't have anything. You know what I'm saying? So it and I was bitching at him last week about his friends not having manners, coming up saying hello, hi Mr. Germany, how are you? You know, that kind of stuff. They kind of look at you like you got a dick growing out of your head half the time. And I'm like, listen, like you can't be hanging out with those kids like that. And then I realized, you know what? My responsibility too.
Yeah.
My responsibility, because those kids probably scared of me. I'm a scary looking motherfucker as it is.
Oh, yeah. I can see that.
So they all get together and play basketball on Fridays. So what I started doing is when all the kids come from their junior high school and they go down to an elementary school where they got really badass basketball courts.
Yeah.
And all the kids get out there and play basketball. They split into teams and they play basketball. I go up to the store and grab a bunch of drinks and ice them down, take them back out there. So they're thirsty anyway.
Yeah.
You know? And drop them off and go, hey, you know who I am. I'm Leland's dad, Mr. Germany. All you got to do is say hello when you see me. So now they don't have an excuse. Now they put me into a positive category instead of putting me into a negative category because I look like a big scary motherfucker.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm looking for something to yell at them about. You know, so, you know, I just told my son, I was like, listen, you got to pull those kids up and instead of them dragging you down, bro.
Yeah.
Be a good example, man, you know?
That's very good because, like, I mean, just because their parents aren't discussing that with them,
yeah.
I mean, doesn't mean you can say,
somebody's
hey,
got to.
Yeah,
why not me? You know?
You're not being scary.
Yeah,
You're
don't
not
be a dick.
You're not trying to, like, put your rules of
No, man.
whatever. But
I'm not
like,
going to be their dad.
Like
but listen, you know, if we're at the football game, you come and, you know, if you don't have anybody to sit with, come sit with us, you know? You know, if there nobody's there to hang out with, come hang out with us. You know, don't be afraid.
Yeah.
You know? And so that's like, I can't put all the responsibility on a 13-year-old kid or a 12-year-old kid. That's a shitty thing to do.
Yeah.
Take the responsibility as an adult to show them that it's okay. You know, so I'm lucky. That's the reason we didn't have any more kids, because my son is such a good kid that the next one is going to be such an asshole.
That's how it always is, man. I have two
so we're
kids.
like, fuck this shit.
I have my 9-year-old and I have a 3-year-old. My 9-year-old, he's super hyperactive. That's probably the only thing.
Rudy, that creeps the fuck out of me that you have kids.
Why? he's always like, he's just super hyperactive. He just jumps around a lot. But you know, he's a kid. What do you expect? But my 3-year-old, he's stubborn as hell.
Isn't it funny how they're raised in the same household, but they have totally different personalities?
Yes, I was telling, like, I told my baby mom one time, I was like, I can't believe how different they are. I was like, my son, yeah, he cried when he was young, but he never went through the terrible twos phase. He's always very polite. He never was big, like, crier or, like, you know, trying to want things that, you know, and throwing a big fit about it, not throwing it. But my second kid,
being a dick.
Oh my god, my second kid is so bad. Like, he would want food, and then you give him the food, but because
he's already cranky and hungry.
Well, because he didn't prep it, or because he likes to do it himself. Because he sees his older brother doing things, so he's like, I want to do things myself. But if I make him a sandwich, he'll be like, he's done this so many times where he'll take it and he'll just crumble it up, and look at me dead in the eye while he's doing it.
That would happen once in my house.
Yeah, I got on him about that. I was like, you know what? Go to the room. You're not gonna eat.
Hey man, starve him to death. That'll learn him.
He would cry, but fine. I'm not gonna sit there and let you destroy food in front of me.
Listen, being a parent is a hard fucking job, bro. It's hard. I mean, it's been great. I'm lucky I got, like, my wife and I stayed together after, you know, which is unbelievably surprising. But not her fault. I'm sure it's probably mine. But we stuck together, and we stuck together with our same kind of core values of how to raise a kid. That's the most important thing.
That's very important. If you guys can understand each other's way of thinking when it comes to raising a child.
Now there's a lot of times I would give my opinion, and she would fucking go do what she wanted to do anyway.
Well, she's a woman. What do you
She
expect?
still does it. Still does it. My kid wanted to go on a bus trip with a bunch of kids, where they stay up all night and like go and talk. Like it's run by a church, and I don't know the people in the fucking church, and that creeps me out anyway.
Yeah.
Like I said, nah, I don't want him to go. These kids are gonna be up all night long. I don't know all the kids that are going, and like every kid in the school, they're all going. And I was like, no, I just like I don't know the people that are running it. I don't know who the counselors are. I don't know, I'm not familiar with the organization that's running it. I just don't feel good. We've always been really protective of Leland, so we didn't want anything, we didn't want anything to happen, you know. And we actually agreed that if something did happen, that I would be the one to go to prison. Because the dude is not fucking living through that shit.
Well, I think that's where you gotta have faith in your child to be able to stand up for himself.
Well, yeah, but they don't always feel that way. We always vetted the people, like friends that he stayed the night with, and we wanted them to do the exact same thing to us. Like we needed to have a relationship before we allowed that to happen. Anyway, so let me get back to so I go, no. Like they had to get up on a Sunday and go stand at the high school to register for this. This is how popular this bus ride is. Like they stay out all night. They go to this like Jump Street and trampoline place, and they go and they just go travel around. They get up in the morning, and the next day the kids sleep all day. I was like, no. So I work nights. So Sunday, I get up, have some breakfast, and then watch some TV, and then I go back to bed because I got to get up Sunday night and work.
Yeah.
Well, while I'm sleeping Sunday night, they get up and go stand in the line to get the fucking bus ticket.
Yeah.
And I'm not supposed to know anything about it. So the deal is that every picture that's taken in all of our phones, we all goes to the cloud.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So we get everything. Like my son takes a picture, I get it. My son makes a phone call, I know about it. So these pictures pop up.
That's a very smart move, though.
Yeah, man, you just lay it out. It's like we're family, so it's like I want them to know where I'm at all the time, and I turned on my 360 app just in case you guys decided to throw me down a well. They know where I'm at.
Yeah.
Well, I got pictures from them standing in line on Sunday, and I know my wife hasn't told me about it, so I just give them enough room just to, hang themselves.
Yeah, just
so
like,
I
let's see
one
what
day,
happens.
so a couple days go by, and I go, hey, where was this picture taken? And my wife is a horrible liar, bro. She is horrible, and she knows it. And my son has the same thing.
Yeah.
So I know where both of them are lying, and I'm good at it. So I'm like, hey, where's this picture taken? She started to fucking lie. I go, don't lie like you do. She goes, it's taken at the high school. I go, you motherfuckers, turning your back on my rules. But, you just, sometimes you got to look at it from a different point of view.
Yeah.
It's every person is going on this bus trip that we know. So, it's probably okay. Yeah.
Plus, you there's a point where you have to start becoming more...
Giving them a little bit of it's hard for me, bro. It's really hard for me.
I bet. I mean, for the longest time, I didn't want my son spending the night at somebody's house I didn't know.
Yeah. No, you can't, man.
Even now, he doesn't really go anywhere. But I started telling him, like, even like at age 6, I think I started telling him, like, don't let anybody put their hands on you.
Sure,
like,
right.
Don't let anybody touch you.
Yeah, you got to touch him. Yeah, teach him that shit, man.
And every so often I'd remind him, and I have to tell him, because you're my son. Only 2 people are allowed to discipline you, and it's me and her. But other adults can tell you not to do something where you're doing something you're not supposed to be doing.
That's right.
But don't let them touch you.
That's right. Yeah.
So, I mean, I've been telling him that for the longest,
Well, and so that kind of brings me to, like, he's 13 now, or he was coming up on being 13. And I was like, okay, this kid is like, I coached I was his football coach, coached all his football teams, and been really involved in his life, I mean, everything that we do for our kids, It's like in a lot of our dreams, we take away from our dreams and give them to our kids. so that they can dream. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like you got to hold down the household and make a stable life for the kids, and so you kind of sometimes put your dreams in the back. So I quit wrestling. I don't wrestle anymore. Which you never really get out of it. They always pull you back in, which brings me to this. So anyway, but it got to the point where I was like, it's real. It's like I gotta have something to do when I get older because he's gonna go to college, and I'm not. All my dreams are gonna go to college with him.
Like, what do I do now?
Right? What do I do now? So it's
that
like
DDP yoga.
Yeah, that'll probably lean a little bit more to alcoholism. So I was like, I'd have something to occupy my time, and I've always wanted to do stand up. So I started pushing myself. Like I started going to shows, and then I started going to open mics just to watch. And then I would go to open mics, watch, and talk to some of the comics.
Yeah.
And every time you say, "Hey, I was thinking about doing this," they go, "Just fucking do it. Just get up and go do it, dude. It's 3 minutes. What's it gonna kill you for 3 minutes? Come on." So, and you start doing it, and you get hooked. All you gotta have is a couple laughs.
Yeah.
And you get hooked, and then I've written stuff that I thought was funny down for years, but you start seeing things in a different light. You see the things that happen in your day-to-day life with your wife and your kids, and the asshole in the line at the checkout line at the supermarket, and you're starting to look at it through different eyes, and you write that shit down, and all of a sudden you work it out a couple times, it becomes a joke, and the more you do it, the better it gets, and you get fucking hooked on it.
Yeah, I do that so much. Like my girlfriend, she fractured her elbow, and I was scared because she had knocked herself out, and like she got up.
Sounds like that was an interesting night.
She said a few things, and she told me she hit her head. She fell and hit her head, and I was like, okay. I was like, but then she's like, she kept on talking, but like she started slurring her words, and then she started falling down, and I got scared. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I was like, we got to get to the hospital.
Yeah, that's where people die from that shit.
I was gonna lay her down, but then she kind of woke up, and she's like, well, what's happening? I was like, you just passed out. I was like, okay, now that you're awake, let's get you in the car, we'll take you to the hospital. And she's like, okay. I started walking with her. She passed out again on me, and I was like, fuck. I was like, and then I started picking her up, and because she's very tiny, so I was like, we were almost
throw her over your shoulder,
at the car door.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, I just picked her up a little bit. I used an old trick I learned while working at the hospital. Put the arms underneath the elbow, underneath the armpits, and lift her that way. I got her in the car. She came to in the car, and on the way to the hospital, of course, I was still very nervous.
Sure.
Because I don't know what's going on.
I'd be freaked out too.
Yeah, she's passing out twice already. She doesn't remember. Like, I don't know how much of this she's not going to remember. I don't know if she's going to start asking me the same questions repeatedly. And then in the car, she's like, oh, I can see color now. And I was like, oh, shit. Like, well, I guess it's getting better. And then she's like, I can hear better. And I was like, okay, cool. I was like, I'm going to the hospital, and we're going to see what's going on. So we got to the hospital. All that's fine. We're not all that's fine, but like they tell her what they're going to do. I tell them what happened. I give them very good detail before I bring her in, because they're going to ask all these questions. And I need to let them know calmly what the situation was. Because I've been in that scenario. I've worked in the ER before.
Right.
So the better detailed you are, the more they understand what to do. But we got her in there, and she's in, they sat her back in one of the rooms. And while we're there, we're like, okay, we're calm, we're cool, and she's all like, oh my gosh, she's like, how am I gonna pay for this? And I'm like, don't worry about that. Like, we'll figure something out.
Try.
She almost wanted to cry because she's like, all these hospital bills. I was like, don't worry about that. She's like, well, at least she's like, well, at least, what she say? She's like, I landed on my elbow because her elbow started hurting her a lot. And she's like, well, I guess my arm took most of the blow, I guess I'm okay. I was like, yeah, I'm glad that you're okay. Like, but we still need to get your head checked. And then the lady came in, and, she starts asking questions.
Bro, this is a long setup. There better be a payoff at the end.
So, like, they're asking her questions, and I tell them, I was like, well, she's doing better. Her arm hurts. And I started joking around. I still turned to the nurse. I was like, first thing I say was, yeah, she hurt herself. She had a bad fall. I was like, but this will be the last time she burns my tortillas.
That's funny.
And they were like,
hey, that's funny.
They were like, what? And I was like, I'm just joking. And so they're like looking at her arm. She just, it's fractured. They're gonna do some X-rays. And I'm like, oh my, good thing. I was like, good thing it wasn't your masturbating arm, girlfriend. And again, the nurse is just like, oh my god.
Rudy, I don't put past you, bro.
And we're in there, we're playing around, just trying to keep it upbeat. The guy comes in here to put her arm in the cast, and then while he's doing that, I'm just like, yeah, that's her her left arm. She's, I'm hoping she's all right. And then right before he leaves, he's like, do you guys have any more questions? And I look at him, I was like, yeah. Why do you have a boner all of a sudden? And he looked down, he's like, oh shit. He's like, you didn't have one. He was just like, oh, you got me.
Oh, okay.
Cause
would have been a much better story if he'd had a boner.
I would have been like, dude, man, because he was all up close and personal.
Sure, right on.
And she had her shirt like kind of hanging off because she had to get that. They had to look at her arm. So
that's funny.
That guy, he was just like, oh man, but he started laughing, and they're trying really hard to be professional and not laugh at what I'm saying. But it's just like,
it's hard. That's it's almost more enjoyable when they're uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's one thing when you're in a comedy club and people have come in there to have a good time and have some drinks and laugh at what you're about to say.
Yeah.
Different when you hit them in a hospital when they're supposed to be professional.
When they're supposed to be professional.
And you're like, that's like that uncomfortable uneasiness is almost more enjoyable as a comic sometimes. You know.
But yeah, so like scenarios like that, just make jokes, and then I started using it on stage a little bit.
Yeah, that's the way you got to work it out, man. You got to write shit down, start cutting words out, bro.
Yeah.
Because it's those useless fucking words.
Oh yeah.
That fuck you.
Like that. Now that was the full story, but like
right.
I didn't say that.
Right. Well, of course not.
No,
but yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I think that's and I've been lucky that. With my background performing as a pro wrestler and being in radio for a couple years and not being a shy guy, that I kind of had some success, a little bit of success, and got booked on some shows, and it's been a really great trip, man.
Yeah. Did you have a wrestling name with your?
Yeah, listen, I always went by, like I did that thing where. You tried to go by a fucking fake name, and there were people that tried to give me fucked up names, but I always went back to my real name, like when it was up to me.
Khris Germany.
Yeah, Khris Germany, and so eventually, like when you're in the wrestling business, sometimes it's tough to get work because they want to use guys they know, but out of sight, out of mind. If you're not one of their guys, they don't always think about you. So I started showing up at shows, and as a wrestler, the rule of thumb is always carry your gear, bro. You never know. Always carry your gear. So I would show up at shows and have my gear with me, and they'd walk in and they'd go, oh, Khris Germany, holy fuck. Let me see if we got a spot for them on the show. They might even cut a guy out that's not as good of a worker as I am and put me in that spot. And so one day we were at a show and I'd done that, and one of the guys goes, man, that fucking Germany, he's a cutthroat motherfucker. And so it stuck, bro. All of a sudden, I became the cutthroat Khris Germany.
All right. So you sent me this picture, and I want to know what was happening in this picture.
So that was a cage match.
Yeah. That's him.
That was a cage match
all bloody
in Denton for
XCW.
XCW.
Extreme.
Yeah, it was Extreme without they took the E off and just went XCW out of Denton, and we ran in Denton. The promoter, Knight Davis. Yeah. He's a fucking terrific guy. I love him. He's fucking family, and we ran with him for several years. And we literally ran. We started in almost like a storefront with a warehouse in the back, and we run every Friday night. and all the kids from North Texas, they found out about it.
Yeah.
And so they would fill that fucking place up, and it was BYOB. So they'd all stop and get their beers and come to the wrestling matches and pre-party to go out to the bars after, in Denton. So it was a big thing. We fucking would pack shows out. We got so big we had moved to a bigger place.
Damn.
So that was a cage match that we did. I don't know. That was probably 2002, maybe 2003, something like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
You look like you got your ass kicked, man.
No, man. That's what you're supposed to look like for a cage match,
that
bro.
That look like the crazy, like you had to mention him earlier. What's his name? Cactus Jack.
Oh yeah.
Like his old school style of wrestling, where they use barbed wire and shit.
Well, see, that was our gimmick. My tag team partner's named Kit Carson, and so when we were working at the Sportatorium on one of the last times before it closed down.
Yeah.
And this was probably 96, 97, and it was run by an old school manager named Playboy Gary Hart. Okay, Gary was one of the look him up if you don't know him. Look him up when you get a chance. Playboy Gary Hart. You'll know him. He was literally a wrestling genius.
Yeah.
Like he discovered he was the guy that discovered Kabuki.
Oh, really?
He was the guy that discovered, made Bruiser Brody a huge name. He's the guy that, and he ran World Class. He's the the guy who came up with the idea of the Von Erich versus Freebird feud back in the 80s.
Oh.
That was his idea. He was Fritz's booker for World Class Championship Wrestling. So he was running the Sportatorium, and we were all wrestling as singles wrestlers. And that's when the extreme stuff from ECW and Philly started to get big. And I guess Gary saw some of it and got an idea, and he put us together as these guys that, wore more street clothes, came to the ring with a barbed wire baseball bat, a bunch of barbed wire, drinking beer, smoking cigarettes. And
Come on, man.
and so that's the way it started out. Yeah, we'd come out fucking chugging beers and smoking cigarettes. And so so he put us together, and he's like, I think I'm going to call you guys the Extreme Team. And then he goes, no, that's not right. He goes, I'm going to call you guys Team Extreme. So that's the name he gave us. It stuck, and we rewrote that for 10 years, bro.
Yeah.
10, 12 years, yeah. And we ended up, my tag team partner and I were held a huge amount of independent titles all over the United States, and then eventually the NWA made us their World Tag Team Champions.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So we got to travel around doing that. Yeah.
They're a pretty big
National Wrestling
right?
Alliance. Yeah, it's owned by that guy from the Smashing Pumpkins now.
Oh, Billy Corgan owns
Billy
that one. That's the one that Billy Corgan owns.
So yeah.
Yeah, he's
But
real
it was the
passionate
original founding wrestling body across the United States that linked all the territories together. They were all members of the National Wrestling Alliance.
Yeah.
And they would meet in Las Vegas once a year and discuss things. It's almost like run like the mob. And so when everybody started, like Vince started having his own champion, and the Crockett promotion down in Atlanta and the Carolinas still used the NWA name, but then Turner bought it and they switched it from the NWA to World Championship Wrestling.
Yeah, WCW.
Yeah. And so the NWA went to the side. Well, a bunch of guys in the 90s put it back together and started running independent shows as National Wrestling Alliance. And so that was a group that now Billy Corgan owns.
It's weird how he went from being like this big time rock star.
Still a big time rock star, bro. Yeah.
Still,
but he's a wrestling fan.
Weird how he did that trend.
And the word is that now they're running those shows out of I guess Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
It's an NWA show, and I think you can get it on the internet. But they're running these big shows, and the word is that he gets out of everybody's way. He's just there to run the numbers.
Yeah.
He doesn't stick his nose in creative or anything.
Yeah, because he's just...
Yeah, he's like, he knows that, hey, I'm a rock star. I'm not going to tell these guys how to be rock star. They're going to tell me how to be rock star. I'm going to tell them how to be a wrestler.
Yeah.
So
like, I'll tell them how to go up there.
Yeah, so that's cool, man. And now with the AEW, All Elite Wrestling, with that going on, and of course New Japan is huge, and
yeah, wrestling's pretty huge.
Yeah, man, it's really big right now, bro. And so
yeah, man, those.
So I got pulled into promoting. I got a buddy who owns a brewery in Dallas, over in the Lake Highlands area of Dallas, which is called Oak Highlands Brewery, and came to me about 6 months ago and said, I want to run a wrestling show. He goes, I want to run a wrestling show here at Oak Highlands Brewery. And they got plenty of room. They got a huge parking lot. And so we're going to have an outdoor festival the 26th of October.
And that's that event you
So
have
that's
right
this
there.
event right here.
So I got the poster right here. I don't know if you can see that very well. Yeah.
So go to oakhighlandsbrewery.com and you can get tickets for the Brawl for It All. And our main event is going to have Lance Hoyt, who this week just won the U.S. Championship in New Japan.
No shit.
Yeah, bro, that's a big step. It's a long time coming. I worked with Lance in PCW here in Arlington when he was just a kid. He had to have been 24 years old. And but he's worked really hard, man. Had his stint in the WWE, and then now New Japan loves the big monsters. This guy's like 6'9", 6'10".
Yeah, they love those
and he's
human specimens.
Right, he's a monster. He's going to be in our main event October 26th there at Oak Highlands Brewery. Go to oakhighlandsbrewery.com.
Yeah, guys, go. I'm definitely going to show up.
Cool.
I reserved Saturday. I'm not going to plan any podcasts.
Cool.
I'm not going to go any shows.
Come out, man. It's going to be a fucking party.
I think I'm going to stay over there because I'm going to go to Dallas anyway for like a bar crawl afterwards.
We're going to have food trucks there. We got a band.
What time does it start?
So the doors open at 6 o'clock. Everything will be set up. Get there early. Get you something to eat. My buddy Brad Mall, who's one of the owners at Oak Highlands Brewery, is a master brewer. He's been brewing for 20 years. And he's got some of the most award-winning small microbrew beer. Yeah. I mean, it's incredible. He's the guy's a lawyer by trade, and gave up that career to start brewing beer. That's how good of a brewer he is. Yeah. Is that this guy's good, man. So come out and drink some beer, have some fun.
Oh, I'm going.
Get something to eat. I'm talking about all the people out there. Come and see us next Saturday at Oak Highlands Brewery. It's going to be fucking cool.
It sounds like it's going to be amazing.
It's going to be cool.
Beer, food trucks. Come on now.
Yeah,
that's what all the white people love.
Fuck yeah, man.
White people love food trucks.
Listen, the brothers can come out too, man.
Oh, yeah. Come out there for,
Yeah, Tejanos. Hey, listen, I got guys coming in from Mexico.
Mexican wrestlers?
Yeah, bro.
Mexican wrestlers are fucking wild.
Yeah, man. So we got guys coming in from Mexico. We got guys that literally, these guys that are performing at this show are on the verge, if they haven't already, breaking nationally on all these, AWE, AEW, and the NWA, and NXT. I mean, these guys are literally on the verge of breaking it. And so come see them while you still see them in a small venue. You don't have to pay, $80 to get tickets at American Airlines.
Yeah, because they're expensive.
Yeah, so
those things are huge.
Yeah, you get general admission festival seating seats here at the Brawl for It All. You can get that for $15, bro.
Are they gonna have tickets at the door?
They'll have tickets at the door.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's cool. They'll have tickets at the door, but if you want to reserve, the best deal is probably the VIP ticket. It will be there's a deck at Oak Highlands Brewery.
Yeah.
And the deck is almost the exact same height as the ring, and
that'd
you will
be
be
nice.
level with the ring. You're gonna have VIP. You get 2 beers. You're gonna have your own tap, own wait staff there, right there at the VIP. You'll have the best seat in the house, and those are only $40.
Awesome.
So
you're producing it, right?
I'm producing it. I've got a new company that I'm going to do some of these wrestling shows, if the price is right.
Yeah.
But really, for what I want to do it for, the wrestling shows for companies that want to promote themselves. I'm not going to run in a venue and work off the door and do that. I'm doing this specifically, just like O'Connell's Brewery, to promote what they want to promote. If it's a chili cook-off, if it's a festival, if it's something, hey man, pay one price and we'll bring the wrestling to you. In addition to, I guess I'm in comedy. I guess I might as well start running some comedy shows. So
why not?
So I'm gonna dip my toes into that. I got a new company that just started, KBL Entertainment.
It seems, I mean, like, if you're working with that brewery company, the guy already, I mean, I'm pretty sure you could put your own showcase.
Oh, sure. That's
like
probably not going to be a problem. And listen, this thing has become its own monster.
Yeah.
Really, my first thought was, okay, I'll sell the show. I can run a show. I've been doing it for years. Even when it's not your show, you're running your segment. So, I know what goes on in the back, and it's not that big a deal. I've run dressing rooms for larger companies before. So, run the show, have some fun. I mean, I want this to be such a success. I've been promoting my ass off, man. I mean, I'm here on a Saturday when I should be somewhere drinking beer.
Yeah.
And, or maybe even catching a set somewhere. But it's going to be, once I get this behind me, man, I can focus, take a breather. I got a bunch of comedy dates coming up in November and December are already getting booked up, and so I just want to make those really good and have some fun, finish the year out good.
Fuck yeah, man.
Yeah. So.
Awesome. I hope everything works out great for you.
Oh, it will, man. We're gonna have a great show regardless.
If you take that wrestling hustle mentality into this comedy and booking shows mentality, you're gonna be great.
Yeah. So hopefully, listen, if it's something you're passionate about, and you just keep working on it, you figure it out as you go. But if you got that passion for it, man, that's that. I'll tell you what. In my opinion, it's the problem with younger people nowadays is they don't have any passion. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to see people get passionate about it, almost to the point of getting mad, man. You know what I'm saying?
Like the only thing people have passionate about now is like being vegan.
Yeah. Yeah, you want to get pissed about something, right?
Puppies. And what gender to be called, man?
Yeah, man.
What kind of passion is that? Where's that going to get you in life?
Like, focus that shit on something. Listen, I'm fine. Listen, I'm physically conservative, but I'm liberal as fuck when it comes to a lot of that shit. As long as you don't fuck with my guns. But, like, come on, man. Let's live and let live. You want me to agree with your lifestyle? Well, fuck, agree with mine. Get off my fucking case.
Yeah.
How about that?
That's really what it comes down to. People pushing their beliefs onto other people and wanting them to.
Sure, man. You want to listen? If everybody was the same, this would be a fucking boring world, wouldn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Especially with comedy, we'd all have the same bits. We'd all be.
Oh my God, isn't that the fucking truth? God, thank God, everybody's not like you, Rudy.
We don't have jokes about the weather. Because that's the only thing that's changing.
Up. No shit. That's fucked up.
Oh man. Well, we did about an hour and it's almost 3:30. I don't want to keep you too long.
Cool, man. You got any other questions before we go?
I did want to. Let me see. Well, we talked.
I tend to ramble on, so.
Well, no, man. That's what it's all about. I want to sit. That's why I do this, to sit down.
Have a conversation, right?
And talk.
Yeah, we haven't had a conversation like this since.
No, you're not gonna have it either. Not at the comedy shows.
Yeah.
Well, we're outside.
I never wanted to get my fingerprints anywhere near you. So.
Well, it's too late now. Yeah, I've seen your bits are dirty. You're gonna be part of the Me Too one day.
That's right. From your mouth to God's ears.
Oh no! Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Any wrestling questions? Something I can maybe give you an insight on?
for right now, nothing off the top of my
Okay.
head. I'm pretty sure I'll think of something sooner or later, but you know what?
Yeah, we
I'm
can come back.
definitely
I'm
gonna have you back
happy to
on.
come back, bro.
Yeah, I'll definitely have you back on. You know, once
Yeah.
I do a nice round of there's a lot of new comics,
Sure.
comics I haven't had on here.
Yeah, man. I'll let you know if I got some shows coming up. And
Oh yeah, we'll come back on.
let's see. I've got.
Yeah, what do you have? Let's promote that shit.
Let me
right
tell you. I've got. I just had somebody get in contact with me to do a new venue that I'm really excited about. It's they're doing Blue Material. They're doing a Dirty Joke show at the Stomping Ground in Dallas.
Yeah, I've heard of that
It's
one.
the first time I've been in there, so I'm really excited about getting a chance to get in there and show off some of my
putting that
material.
together?
I'm not. Let's see. Diane Michelle, maybe. Yeah. I've got. So I'm booked November 8th at the Stomping Ground, an 8 p.m. show.
Yeah.
And then I booked Saturday show, December 28th, at the same venue, the Stomping Ground Theater. I've got a Red Room show coming up next week, next Saturday, at the Fort Worth Hyenas.
Oh, okay.
Which,
What's
you know,
that Reverend show?
The Red Room?
Oh, Red Room. I
Yeah.
thought you said Reverend.
Oh no, Red Room
like,
show.
what?
I'm sorry. That's sometimes I mumble.
Pastors?
Yeah, I've been hitting the head with chairs, so sometimes I'm not always clear. Yeah, we got a Red Room show with Mikey B. And,
Okay.
and a bunch of comics.
When is that?
That's
Next Saturday.
November 2nd. Yeah, that's next
Second.
Saturday.
You know what? What's his name told me? Luis Hernandez. Is he the headliner?
Not really sure. Hold on. Let me look.
I think so, because he told me to show up. He's like, show up and we'll give you some time. Like at 2, 3, at least. He said at least 3 to 5 minutes. Like,
Yeah, I
show
know
up.
that. I know that they may be running a show also. This one is. Let me find it.
Well, it sounds familiar because Luis Hernandez told me that it was Mikey B, and then somebody else.
Yeah, I'm not real good with the phone thing. I mean, it could be much better, but
Well, I mean, with those gorilla hands.
that's not very easy, bro. To be honest with you.
So like, if it's the one that Luis, Luis Hernandez told me about.
Okay, November 2nd, Red Room. Here we go. It is Mikey B, Barry Whitewater, Daniel Gill, Zach Webb, myself.
Luis Juarez. My bad,
Yeah,
not Hernandez,
yeah,
Juarez.
that's right. You're right.
Luis Juarez. Yeah, he told me to show up. He'll give me some time.
Yeah, cool. So that'll be a fun show.
I'll probably
And
show up.
so I'll do that one.
I'm not gonna miss an opportunity when the comic says, "Come
Sure.
do it," and I'll give you something.
Right.
Because if
And
you
then-
don't do it, the comic's like, "Oh." You're
And
not,
then I'm
maybe,
also,
maybe not real into comics. Like, no, fuck that. I'm gonna go.
Yeah, I understand, man. So also, let's see. I think I'm doing.
Oh no.
I'm doing Butch Lord's 2 showcases on the 1st and the 8th of December.
The Dallas and Plano.
Yep.
I'm doing both
Dallas
of
and
those
Planet.
as well.
Yeah. So I'm going to do both of those.
I'll be there for those.
In fact, I think I'm hosting last
Yeah.
half of the. Yeah.
The second block.
Yeah. So,
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I've been doing hosting. I've been signing up for hosting. I'm not sure. I should do it because if I'm not sure about it, then that just means that I should.
That means
do
you
it.
need to work on it.
That means I should do it.
Yeah,
I should
definitely need to work.
I should ask Butch to go ahead to see if I can host one of those shows.
Here's a great little story, real quick. And usually I don't tell on myself, but this is funny as fuck. So I did the last Fort Worth Butch Lord showcase.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I saw you.
yeah, so I went in there and I hosted the last half of, and he
Damn.
popped it on me. Like I don't have a whole lot of experience as a host,
Yeah.
but I have, I hosted it a couple times for the Arlington Improv for the Stand Up for Heroes, and so I had some experience. It's the first time I've done for, that big of a showcase.
Yeah.
I got up and I had 5 minutes. I got halfway through my 5 minutes and realized going into my closing bit that I forgot the guy's name I'm about to bring up.
Oh, doesn't that suck?
Fuck.
That's
And listen, I'm
that's
horrible with,
embarrassing.
like, if you got an Italian name or a Hispanic name,
Yeah.
I'm going to fuck it up, bro. I'm just not good at it. And I just, like, and you can. I watched the video, and I could see that look come over my face about like like nobody in the audience realized. But I said like maybe one or two which I at this point I pretty much not doing them in that 5-minute set.
Yeah.
And I realized when I hit those that it's hit me. I forgot this guy's fucking name, man.
I heard the door real quick.
Okay. Got to get the door. I'll entertain you.
Just real quick.
That's right. So, a little dead air. Maybe it's a UPS man. Just bringing you those body bags you've been waiting for.
The who? Oh, what are you talking about? What are you telling the people here? But thanks for coming on.
Yeah, bro.
We didn't do as much time. Well, we did quite a bit of time.
No,
we'll
man,
do more later on.
Yeah, bro. Kind of focus on some. I told you
Yeah.
some good stories about how I got into
great stories,
business.
man.
And so,
sure there's more, too.
everybody come out to Oak Island's Brewery, please.
Yes, come out, guys. Cause
Saturday,
I'm definitely
October
gonna be
26th. It's going to be a terrific show. These guys, you'll
love
never
wrestling.
see this group of professional wrestlers in Dallas all together
there. Yeah.
ever again, probably.
I'm gonna see if I can take this poster, see if they let me put it at work, and
Sure.
invite some of those fuckers at work.
Cool,
to come
man.
out.
I got a couple more I can give you too if you want to put some up out here.
If you want, if it's up to you.
Sure.
If you want.
Yeah,
I
I'll give
mean,
you a couple,
I have
absolutely.
no problem
Absolutely.
helping you promote this event. You should
Thanks,
come in
Rudy.
earlier, then you
Yeah,
have more
man.
stuff.
Well, listen, this last week,
Uh-huh.
that's a 0 hour.
Yeah.
Like, for the professional wrestling business, what people don't realize is that usually pro wrestling does not have a huge amount of pre-sales in the old wrestling business when it's a
Yeah.
local show.
No,
Now, if it's WWE coming in, yeah, probably. But
Something
a
that
lot of
big.
people they don't realize that people buy tickets to the door.
Yeah.
So come on out. We'll have tickets. We got plenty of tickets.
Cool.
We got food trucks. It'll be a good time.
Good time.
Oak
All
Island's
right.
Brewery.
Again,
Thanks, buddy.
thank you for coming on, man. I'll
Thanks,
definitely
Rudy.
have you gone.
Thank you, buddy.
Yeah, gone. Again, it was very good talking to you.
All right. I don't
And
know
dude,
how ugly I was on this fucking video.
No, it's fine, dude. Hey, you guys, coming up tomorrow, Jorge Cortez will be here tomorrow, and I'll see you guys next time.
Thanks, buddy.
Oh, for sure.